My dear students, parents, teachers, and principals of all our council affiliated schools across India and abroad, welcome to this inaugural CISCE Virtual Learning Series. It is the council's humble gesture and initiative to reach out to our students through our exclusive YouTube channel using StreamYard. We are in the 6th month of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the crisis does not seem to relent anytime soon. Given that all schools are closed, the Council has decided to proactively involve its students in some teaching learning activity through this initiative. While many schools have been doing excellent work in conducting online classes for its students, yet there are some schools which have not been able to do the same for their students. The Council is concerned about these students, especially those at the ICSE and ISE level. Therefore, the Council has arranged for subject experts for all the major subjects at the ICSE and ISE levels to address students' concerns and to suitably guide them in these subjects. These lessons can be viewed exclusively on the CISCE YouTube channel. I request all our students to be attentive and participate actively in these interactive live lessons. I am confident that our subject experts will be able to assist and motivate each one of you. Lastly, I would like to place on record my most sincere gratitude to Mr. Francis Joseph for coordinating with our research division and examination sections to make this possible. We plan to continue this series for as long as we can so that the Council can reach out to our teaching community in general and to our students in particular. Thank you and happy learning.
Good morning children, good morning teachers, my fellow teachers. Before I begin, let me say a very, very big thank you to the ICSE Council for making this possible. Thank you for allowing us to be in touch with our teachers, to be in touch with our students, our pupils, wherever they are, in any part of the country, in any part of the world. So welcome to our very first inaugural lesson. My name is Hilda Peacock, and I have been an English teacher for many, many years. And today it is my great pleasure and my great honor to begin this session by teaching you how to write an argumentative essay. How to write an argumentative essay. Children, you know that when you come to class 10, in the board exam, English paper 1, question 1 has 5 different kinds of compositions that you are supposed to write. And one of these compositions is what we fondly call the debate composition or the argumentative composition. Let me begin by telling you that the argumentative composition is a very, very important exercise. You should start learning how to debate spoken. You should start learning how to write an argumentative essay, maybe class 9 and class 10. Many schools start in class 8. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But you know, children, how it is? You children always want to know why. Why should we do this? Why should I do that? Why should I learn this? So let me begin this lesson by telling you why an argumentative essay, why a debate lesson is so important. Children, there's a very, very important life lesson attached to it. You know, children, in today's world, it is important for you to have an opinion. It is important to have an opinion, firstly. Secondly, you must be able to voice your opinion. You must be able to say what you think. But you must do it politely. You must do it formally. You must do it in a way that is convincing, that is persuasive, that you get other people to agree with you. We live in a day and age where it is important, children, to stand up and be counted. The time has now come for every one of us to be able to learn to present an argument. This is a life skill, children. It's got nothing to do with your examinations, believe me. And this examination is only a means whereby we train you for life. So don't at all imagine that we put this in randomly. There are very, very important life lessons attached to each topic, to each subtopic in your entire curriculum. And I want to tell you one thing, children, this is off record. It makes me very sad when I listen to people who say that our education system has no link with real life. How can anybody say that? Everything we say and do is linked to real life. Everything we teach you has a life application. Children, it is for us, teachers, and for you, children, to find that life application, to find what it is useful for. Learn it and then go and apply it. You modify it, you change it around, you use it as you want to, but let the roots be set. And that is why today I have chosen the argumentative essay. The argumentative essay is a powerful life lesson. It is not something you just do and forget about in class 10. You must carry this lesson through life. How do I persuade someone to agree with me? And secondly, if I don't want to agree, or that person doesn't want to agree, how do I do this politely, firmly, and formally? This is a formal writing exercise. Children, see, logic is a very, very important subject. We don't have it in school. As soon as you step out of school, you'll have logic as a subject. And the base for logic lies in the argumentative essay. So today, we are going to do this not just for your ICSE board examination, but as a lesson for life. So join me as we walk through the stages of how do you write this argumentative topic. If I could please have that slide up which said argumentative topic. The argumentative essay, the argumentative composition. Children, the rules for all 5 kinds of composition remain the same. There are no changes. All right, that it is within 350 words, that you have to use paragraphs, that your syntax has to be good, your vocabulary has to be appropriate, children, not the big word. The big word doesn't impress anybody. We are talking about the appropriate word. Your composition has to be properly punctuated. But today, since we're doing only argumentative composition, I am going to tell you how do we write this argumentative composition. And actually, I'm going to hold your hand and lead you up a flight of 6 steps. You and I, we are going to climb these 6 steps together, from the first step to the 6th step. Just for an example today, just for the example, let us have a very popular topic with you. And the topic that I have chosen is school uniforms must be abolished. I'll say that again. School uniforms must be abolished. This is a lovely topic for you because you argue about it all the time and you bring up examples and you bring up arguments and you say, no, we don't want school uniforms, and some of you love your school uniform. So I've chosen this topic because I know it appeals to every one of you in classes 9 and 10, and we have lots of fantastic conversations about it in our schools. So for today, school uniforms must be abolished. This is our example. Before I go any further, teachers, please remember that when you are setting a topic for the debate, the topic must be evenly balanced. That means arguable on both sides. The topic can never be a question. Maybe sometimes when we meet as teachers, I'll tell you why it cannot be a question. It always has to be a statement that is balanced, and naturally, I don't have to say this to you, it must be contextual and it must be contemporary. Take something that appeals to the heart of the 15-year-old child. And I can tell you from my own experience that this issue of school uniforms, having it, not having it, is very, very close to their heart. And so for this morning, our topic is school uniforms must be abolished. You see, children, when you get a topic for debate, something happens inside your heart. At once you react. School uniforms must be abolished. No. Or supposing another example I'll give you. Moral science is the most important school subject. And I can imagine a whole lot of you screaming and saying, yeah, it's the most important school subject. And some of you will say, no, what rubbish. Maths is more important, computer science. How can I get on in life without languages? No. What have you done? What has happened inside you? The minute you see a topic that you think is controversial, something happens inside your heart. You respond. You burst out. You burst out. With what? With a yes, I agree. Or no, I don't agree. Can't be. Never. Impossible. You know that first outburst? I would like to give it a name. It's a big word. You've heard it before because we'll remind you of another word. The word is evocation. The topic that is given to you must evoke, must outburst in a response. May I have that slide, please? There must be an evocation. What is an evocation? See, it sounds so much like woke. Evoke. Think, if you don't know this word, think it sounds like woke. It wakens something up. You shake up inside. School uniforms must be abolished. Today, for argument, because I'm holding your hand and we're climbing those 6 steps, children. Today, for argument, let's say no. No. I love my school uniform. My school uniform can never be taken away from me. I'm in class 10. What will I do without my school uniform? Let's have that response just for today. Children, remember, you are allowed to argue either yes or, ma'am is saying loud, big, or no. What have you done? An evocation. An evocation means it pulls out a response from you. You say to that statement, school uniforms must be abolished. No, can't be. See, at once that outburst, that response. So the first thing you do in a debate, children, on the very first step is evocation. You must respond strongly. You must respond either in negative or in positive. Here we have said, no, school uniforms must not be abolished. You cannot take away my school uniform. Please don't take away my school uniform. I love it so much. What have you done? You have responded. And I have shown you how to respond strongly. Not a watered down, yeah, maybe. No, yeah, maybe. A yes or a no. So what have we said today? What has been our evocation today? Loud, big, no. School uniforms must not be abolished. So the first thing, children, that you do on a debating composition in an argumentative essay is you stand on the first step and you stamp your feet and you say, no, school uniforms must not be abolished. Let me take you one step up. Having said that, having said school uniforms must not be abolished, let me hold your hand on to the second step. Climb the second step with me, children. And then what do? You give an explanation. Slide, please. Explanation. See, it's up there on your screen. You have taken a side. Taken a side is vital. I told you, life lesson. In life, children, you cannot sit on the fence. You cannot wait for things to settle and then I will say yes or no and I'll go on which side is more powerful. No, that's not what we want you children to be. We want you to have a spine and to be able to state it and to say yes or no. Second step, explanation. You can see that on your screen, children. Explanation. Be careful, huh? Sometimes you spell explain, and then when you spell explanation, you put an I there. Just be careful. Just look at it hard. It will stick in your mind. Explanation. What do you do in the second step? In the second step, children, you must explain the keywords, the main terms that are used in the topic. The topic is up on your screen, the topic is up on your board, the topic is in your question paper. Look at what are the main words. I don't like to say keywords. In our examination system, it has a very bad connotation. I won't say keywords. Look at the important words in the topic. Where are the important words? They're in the topic. They're given to you. You don't have to coin them. You don't have to make them up. If you're allowed to use a pencil, just underline them. Look at this topic. Look at this topic. It says school uniforms must be abolished. To my mind, children, there are two key terms. One is school uniforms. One is the word abolished. You have to give an explanation. What is a school uniform? What is the meaning of abolished? What do you mean by school uniforms? I'll tell you. I'd love it if it were interactive. Then I would hear what you have to say. Today I'm doing all the talking. It's a bit unfair, no? Maybe next time we'll talk to each other. All right. So what are school uniforms? School uniforms are that dress, important word, dress, that is worn by the children of the same school. All right. Now, you cannot say, children, a school uniform is that uniform that is worn in the school. Because what have you done? You have explained using the same words. You cannot do that. Let me remind you of question 4, comprehension vocabulary. When you explain a word, you cannot use the same word. So, a school uniform is not a uniform. A school uniform is a dress that is worn by the pupils or the children of the same school. It is similar in pattern, in color, in design, in material. What does it material mean? It means one child cannot wear a silk dress and another child wear a woolen dress. Not like that. The material, the fabric with which that uniform, the dress is made should be the same. We all know this. We take it for granted. No, we don't think too much about it. So, school uniform is that dress that is worn by all the children of the school, from class 12 to lower nursery. It is same in design. There's small differences will be there. The plus 2 wears something different. The pre-primary may wear some slight differences. But largely, in that section even, all are same. Nobody can wear something different. That is similar in pattern, in design, in cut, in material, in fabric, and you can go on. Second word, what is the meaning of the word abolished? Abolished is a strong word. It means wiped out, cleaned away, annihilated, decimated. Big words that mean completely destroyed. All right, so what have you done in explanation? In explanation, you have explained the meaning of the key words. In other words, you have explained the terms of the debate. Then, having done that, children, that shouldn't take more than 2-3 lines. Okay, but I know some of you are going to ask me, by now I'd have finished my 300 words. No, oh no, you're barely introduced. After we finish explanation, may I have the next slide, please? We come to what we call the main body of your argument. Children, earlier in a little while ago, I told you logic. Children, exposition is a very big word. I know my children jump up and say, what does it mean? What does it mean? You know this word exposition, what it sounds like? It sounds like expose. What is the meaning of expose? To open up. Expose means to open. All right. When you reveal, when you show, exposition means It's like an onion. Huh? You open one layer, then you open another layer, then you open a third layer. And exposition opens up the debate. If you ask me, Miss, which is the heart of the composition? In debate composition, it is exposition. It is the heart. It is the argument. Why do you say school uniforms must not be abolished? School uniforms must stay with us. Why do you say that? I'm telling you now. Exposition is that part of the composition where you say why. And you will show the link, children. Look at my hands, please. Why and because. Why should school uniforms not be abolished? School uniforms must not be abolished because. One reason, two reasons, three reasons. Children, don't give more than three reasons. I'll tell you why. Because time, number of words. In class 10, if you give three reasons, remember in class 2 or 3, we used to do that question, give reasons for. Same thing. Same thing. What you learned then, you're carrying over now. Give reasons for why you think. Expose your argument. Give reasons why you think school uniforms must not be abolished. You're showing the link between why and because. And I'm sorry to say, children, this is a link that has not been treated very fairly. Far too many of us adults, we don't know the link between why and because. You ask somebody why something, they'll give you another answer. They won't say because. See what an important life lesson. What is the link between why do you do something? I do this because. Why should school uniforms not be abolished? School uniforms should not be abolished because. Let me, for example, children, I know you have so many answers. Let me, as an old teacher, give you three reasons. Okay, I sorted out three reasons why we love our school uniforms, we want our school uniforms to stay, and why they should not be abolished. Firstly, and these children are not my points. These are the points that I have gleaned and garnered from children across the country over many years. This is what you have taught me. Okay, I'm only telling you back what I have learned from you. I'm telling you what I've learned from you. All right. So why should school uniforms not be abolished? You know, the most common thing that children say, it gives us a sense of belonging. When we look at all our children wearing the white shirt, white blouse, navy blue trousers, navy blue shorts, navy blue skirt, blue tie, blue badge, we all know that we belong. Important word, children. If you're taking notes, write the word belong. We belong to St. Mary's School. We belong to National English School. We belong to Central School. We belong to Centenary Memorial School, whatever the name of your school is. It gives you a sense of belonging. The uniform gives you a sense of the school owns you and you love the school. It gives you your identity. You say, I am a pupil, a proud pupil of such and such school. I'm going to say how important this is, children, to have a sense of belonging, to know that you belong to somebody. It's very important in life as we go along. Sometimes we get lost along the way. And sometimes, we feel that, who am I? What am I? Where do I belong? This will help you strengthen that. You belong. You belong to a school. You belong to an institution. You are not an island. You are not lost. You are rooted. You are grounded. Now I'm going to use very carefully. You have a sense of identity. So your first point, school uniforms should not be abolished because they give us a sense of belonging. Why do school uniforms not be abolished? Because. Second reason, school uniforms should not be abolished because they create a sense of equality. This is your still on exposition, children. They create a sense of equality. Look, children, in school, we don't care now who's sitting beside me, who's sitting on my right, who's sitting on my left. Who cares? In school, we don't care. Oh, you belong to that community. Oh, you belong to that religion. We don't care. I don't know who you are. I don't care. You're my friend. I share my breakfast with you. I share my tiffin with you. I ate up your biscuits last week. It's all right. It gives us a sense of equality. In school, we don't bother that her father is an industrialist and my father owns a small shop. When we wear our uniform, we are equal. There is no caste, there is no community, there's no differences in our material possessions, in what we own and who we are and what kind of cars our parents drive. I mean, who cares? When you wear the blue skirt or the trouser and the white pant, you belong together. You are equal. You are all equal children of the school. Only school uniform does this. Only school uniform gives you the sense of being one. So it gives you a sense of belonging. It gives you a sense of equality. Third one. I'll just give you 3 children. I know you are all jumping and you've got 25 to give me. And maybe sometime you'll write to me and you'll tell me, ma'am, you left out this, ma'am, you left out that. I know you're going to say that. But I'll give you the third one. The third thing, and this is a very important quality, children, it gives you a sense of loyalty. You know, loyalty? Huh? When you stand up for someone, when you speak up for someone, when you don't care. See, when you have your inter-house matches, how you cheer for your house. Go yellow house, go yellow house. How you do that? But when it comes to your school, then who cares about yellow house? Then you say, go St. Mary's, go Central. Hmm? Why do you do it? Because of loyalty. School uniform helps you to recognize, little difficult, teachers if you're listening, recognize the sameness in the other. There's no us and them. There's no more us and them. Recognize the same humane qualities that I have, you have. And therefore, I will be friends with you. Therefore, I am loyal to you. Therefore, I am loyal to school. Children, I'll tell you, in my years as a teacher, you know why year after year after year, old pupils come back and they wander around the classroom and they say, I sat here. They come back with their wives and their children and their spouses. And they say, I sat here. And if you're a boarder, I slept here. This was my place in the dining room. Why do you do that? School loyalty. And what helps to build school loyalty? School uniform. School uniform. So what have we done so far, children? First one, evocation. Second one, explanation. Third one, exposition. And now I'm going to say one more, and I'll ask for my next slide, that is examples. See, children, in any learning, when you make a point, it's always wise to give an example to support your point. Always wise. You must do it. Why should I believe you? Give me a real life example. Give me an example. And so, we've given 3 reasons. No, give at least 2 examples. Give 2 examples. If you have 3 examples, give them. Let me give examples for this. Look at the example of our armed forces. Look at their unity. Look at their discipline. Look at their loyalty. They wear a uniform. Children, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying wearing a uniform gives you all these qualities, but it certainly helps to build them. If we all look different and dress differently, I doubt very much we as children would have this sense of identity, this sense of belonging, this sense of equality, this sense of loyalty. I doubt. I really, really doubt. Give an example. Our armed forces. Look at our boys, Republic Day, when they march on the NCC, boys and girls. Why am I saying boys? Boys and girls, when they march on the field on Republic Day, all in the same uniform, with the beret and that red plume. They march as if they are one person. They wear the same uniform. An example. I must share this with you. Many years ago, council paper only, they gave women can be as brave as men. Children, when it came to example, the whole country wrote the example of Lakshmibai Rani of Jhansi. Of course, one woman who stood up against the might of the British Empire. She's gone down as an example of bravery in women. But there were also children who wrote, my grandmother, she's 75 years old and she lives alone and she fought off single-handed robbers. See, an example of bravery. Your example can be from real life. They can be from historical examples. They can be from something that you yourself have experienced or you know or you have read about. But give 2 examples. Coming back to our school uniforms, today many companies, both in India and abroad, are insisting that their workers, adult men and women, wear uniforms. So you'll find many big companies in India, they all wear the same kind of uniform. Sometimes the uniform is separate for men and separate for women, but largely it is the same. There must be some worth in it. That company obviously wants to keep its people together, keep its people believing that we are one family. Two examples. May I have my next slide? I'm getting a little nervous about time, but I just have to say this. Children, our next step, I walked with you step evocation, you've climbed to explanation, your third step exposition, your fourth step example. We are now on the fifth step, and we need to stop here for a while and take stock. See, this is a life lesson. Children, I wish I didn't have to teach you this. I wish I could just jump this, but I can't do that with good conscience. I have to tell you, children, every argument has another side to it. Every argument. And it is our intention in the council to teach you to respect that there are other sides to it. You cannot be right all the time. You are never right all the time. You should not be right all the time. Sometimes you have to stop and listen to what other people are saying. Listen carefully to what other people are saying with respect. Don't agree. Please don't agree. Stay where you are, but listen with respect. You have to include other voices, and that is why we teach you to write exceptions. Children, if you give 3 examples, common sense, don't give 5 exceptions, because then you would have turned your argument on the head. Your argument would have gone upside down. Give 1 exception. And when you give an exception, be careful how you word it. Be careful. See, some people may think that, sometimes it may be seen that, although, perhaps. Use words that protect your argument. Don't throw away your argument. Don't throw away your argument. So far you have climbed, this is your 5th step. You've come all the way. Now don't demolish your own argument by ruining this step. So tread here very, very carefully. Teachers, a word of warning to you. If you feel your class is not capable of handling exceptions, it is a life lesson, but feel free to allow them to drop this step. But I'm going to say it for those of you who can handle it. When you have given examples, say some people may think that school uniforms rob us of our individuality to choose. See, maybe. All right. You may say that, no, why should I wear the same color? It doesn't suit me. I feel hot in terracotta. I want to wear something. Or I feel cold in cotton. I want to wear woolen. I don't like blue. I want to wear red. All right. To that extent, what does school uniform do? It restricts your choice. And some people will use stronger words and say, it hampers my individuality. Oops. Okay, crushing my individuality. Some people may think that. But look back, children. Look back. Look at exposition. Look at the powerful lessons of belonging, of equality, of loyalty. Don't bargain that away for freedom of choosing clothing. What? How trite is that? How trivial. Don't sell it. Mention it. Mention it. Some people may think that. Quickly jump onto step number 6. You have climbed the ladder, children. We are coming to the end. And I think I'm now getting ready to face some questions. All right. If you have questions, somebody will put up something on your screen which will enable you to ask. There'll be something on your screen which will enable you to ask relevant questions. But let me go back to the end. You know what you do at the end? At the end of climbing that short flight of stairs, you have climbed step by step by step by step by step, and now you're at the last step. What do? You look back. And you look at the way in which you have climbed, and you go back to step 1, and you say, and so for all these reasons, I believe that my school uniform is dear to me, and it must never be abolished. What have you done in the end? You have repeated your first sentence. See, look at me. End, end. You have repeated your beginning. Go back to the beginning. The great poet said, "No, in my end is my beginning." When you grow older, you read it. When you come to the end, remember to go back to the beginning and say, for all these reasons, I believe, and you state again firmly that school uniforms must never be abolished. Can never be abolished. Yes, there's a lovely question come up. Can the explanation be to 3 or 4 lines? Children, not more than 2 or 3 sentences. I will not like to say lines, children. All right, I won't like to say lines. Lines doesn't mean anything. When we talk about composition, we talk sentences. So yes, 3-4 sentences, 2-3 sentences is more than enough. All right. Length of composition, children, that rule doesn't change. The length of composition is up on the head. Write a composition between 300 and 350 words. That stands. Okay, no change there. All right. Anything else? Any other questions that I can take? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to say? Please feel free. Should each point be written on a second? See, children, that means you will get a composition with 6 paragraphs. I don't think that's wise. I don't think that's wise. You'll get out of hand. Put your entire composition into 3 paragraphs. All right, put your entire composition into 3 paragraphs, maybe 4. Can't be in 350 words, children. Let me show you. I'm going to hold up a book. I brought this book along. It's a school book. Okay, this is what we normally write in school. So 350 words. See, look, children. It's this page. It's just 2 sides. Maybe if your handwriting is large, you'll come to little here. So just these 2 sides. So there's no point in going into more than 3 paragraphs. All right. I think I've answered that point. Anything else? No, absolutely no. May I argue on both sides? Child, whoever has asked this question, never do that. You cannot. We talked about the life lesson. You must have an opinion. You must have an opinion and have the courage of your conviction to state your case. Argue only on one side with a strong tilt. With a strong tilt. I think I've come to the end of my 40 minutes, and if there are any other questions, I'd like to take the last 2. Otherwise, I will just like to close. What happens if I leave out one? Nothing much happens, children. Nothing much happens. It's like you might, if you're climbing stairs and you miss one step, you'll trip. Nothing, no real damage. All right. Thank you for that same question on negative answering on the other side. That's tricky, children. Avoid it. Punctuation is vital, children. Punctuation changes the meaning of a sentence. Meaning for a sentence. Another question, how many reasons must we write for agreeing? Children, I told you, exposition, it will come in the paragraph, exposition. 3 is more than enough. See, this business of using quotations, I'm a little wary of it. I'll tell you this. I will like our council way of saying, use your own language. Use your own language. Using a quote as an example or something that enhances what you say is all right, but it is not necessary. And for heaven's sake, children, do not misquote and do not write any quotation and give how famous so-and-so Mahatma Gandhi said. No. We know very well that Mahatma Gandhi did not say it. So please do not do this. Can we write? Yes, child, you could begin with a question. But actually, an evocation is a strong response. Right? So I think I've come to the end of my presentation. If there are no more questions, I'd like to say a very big thank you, all you children out there who have listened. Thank you, teachers, for always being the support that you have. Thank you, ICSE Council, for making this possible and for having me take this class. I am so humbled. I am so honored. Thank you so much.